So hello everybody and welcome to the Goodwood Revival, or at least its virtual version by SimRacing Online. I've decided to participate this year. I hadn't done any races for this organization, let's say, and this was my first. It was the St. Mary's Trophy for 1960s touring cars. There were a lot of different vehicles on the grid, but this is ours, the BMW 2002. One of the faster cars on the grid, the newest one in fact, a very successful touring car in real life. But would we be able to bring it to the podium from third on the grid? Not if we start the race like this. A terrible start on first gear, the turbo has its quirks, and there's a bunch of cars passing us on the inside. We need to avoid losing too many positions, but also avoid any contact. The same can be said for the guys behind. There's a stack up, the Mini crashes into the Hillman goes flying and off the track, off this world. Another wreck, sideways, upside down this MG. A huge crash to start the race. We at least are alive, even though we have a car on the inside. Let's just lift, trying to avoid crashing on lap 1. This is not what we wanted. We've lost a lot of positions, but we are still on the track, which is more than some can say. We get into the corners now. Seems like I have speed out of this corner. Following an Alfa Romeo Giulia. Now throwing the car on the inside, late braking here. They see us, give us space, this is good. Side by side, very tight track. At least in the exit of this corner where you make a little bit of contact. I should have stayed more on the inside. But it's okay, left, they go by, and another car side by side. I have the slipstream of the Alfa Romeo, but I'm boxed in, and now the Ford Lotus Cortina goes on the outside. Brake late, try to spook the other car, doesn't work. And we have someone on the inside now again. This is like an NASCAR track, you do not want to be on the outside. With a group of cars, I get slightly scared, lift off the brake and make contact. That was a complicated situation. I thought that the Cortina was going to dive bomb me, so I lifted to avoid the initial contact and ended up in the wall. So I don't know if I could have done much differently. Maybe just let them hit us. I don't know, I'm not sure. It was a complicated situation. Two cars into one corner don't usually go. Now we just have to make up even more positions. Oh, there's one potential position as one of the Austin Healey's, I think, is going slow, but I have to lift, lose out a lot of speed out of the corner, and there goes the Lotus Cortina that we had contact with earlier, getting its position finally. Well, doesn't matter, we've just lost positions in the first lap. Let's just have fun, try to recover. We had great qualifying, it's third place, but now everything's gone south in this first lap. We do have the rhythm, we were fast in practice, we have a very good car. There's a slow MG on the inside. Make it past. Show our front wheel to the Lotus as one of the other cars, I think that's a Ford Fairlane, goes off the track. So we gained 3 positions in about one corner and a short little straightaway. Things are looking up. But now, into the braking zone, I brake too late. I tried to dodge the other car and mess it up. Well, things are definitely not going well in this, my first race for SimRacing Online. Very well organized events, lots of great drivers in them, but we are not introducing ourselves in the best way, let's just say. 2 laps, it's been an absolute disaster. We just have to focus and get a clean lap. How do we do that? Well, first off, brake for this corner, aim for each of the 3 apexes, or at least that's how I was doing it. We want to hit this one. This one's the most important apex to hit, to get a good exit and a good run along the straightaway. Now this following corner, you really don't have to lift in a touring car. You just plant the foot to the floor and get to the inside. Here, this corner is a 4th gear in this car. really hug the inside, touch the curb a little bit, and keep to the right. You don't want to drift wide because you want to get ready for this corner, which is very important to get a good exit from. We did get a good exit, and this is so far I think our favorite overtaking spot. Not this time, the MG closes the door, but we need to get a good exit out of this. We are getting a good exit. We are going to be right on the slipstream of this car. Of course a convertible, a lot more drag, not as good a shape to get through the air. And we are side by side. The speeds are pretty similar, but someone's got to give. Someone's got to brake, and it's the MG. Right, that was our first clean lap. If we make it out of the chicane, alright, yes we did. Finally, we got a full lap without going off track or hitting anybody. That only took 3. So now we just have to get into a rhythm and avoid any more collisions or disasters in general. Literally 20 seconds later, we get into this corner. We are closer to this MGB, I think it is, ahead of us, but I brake right on the bump on the road. I had gone wide in the first corner, really got it wrong, and I spin out. This is rock bottom. We are very far back now. We're going to lose even more positions from a Fairlane and a Hellman Imp. So, not Fairlane, yes. Was it a Fairlane or a Galaxy? I think it's a Ford Fairlane. Yeah, Fairlane, I would say. Very fast car on this combination. Now, we are in 21st place, just 4 laps in. Luckily, this Hellman might be very agile in the corners, but doesn't have the top end speed, so I can very easily get past it on the straightaway. That was the easiest pass we've had all race long. Race goes on. We keep following the Fairlane. Some scares along the way, like this MG deciding to rejoin the track right ahead of us. That was a lap car. 1 lap later, we get into the chicane, get a decent run out of it. Not so much that Mini ahead, the Mini has gone off completely and lost the position to the Ford. Now the good thing about this is that the Mini is not very fast on the straightaway, so if we can get a good exit out of this corner, we might have a chance to close up. Or close in, I'm not sure. Is it close up? The guy ahead, close in, close up I would say. Anyway, this Mini is not very fast in the straights, just like the Hellman Imp. It's a very light front wheel drive car. I'm getting closer, closer, closer. I show my bumper, but I'm not going to try anything. Here you can see how quickly the Mini picked up speed on the corners. It seems to go faster in the corners than it does in the straightaways. The Ford has the opposite problem. It's very sluggish in the corners, lots of weight, so it goes off here. David versus Goliath between the Ford and the Mini side by side, but there's a Jaguar that has gone off ahead. Now everybody's going to get a bad exit off this corner, and I'm going to try to pass them. There's cars everywhere, there's not much space, but I have to do something. I push the pedal and get by the Jaguar. We are side by side with the Mini. I know that I'm going to have more speed at the end of the straightaway. The Mini hangs on pretty well considering its low power, but I have the position. Just keep it steady, don't go off the track. And we've got that position. Now, race goes on. The Ford and I are just gaining place after place. Next one is this MG, which is going very slow on the straightaway. This is a car that we have passed already before it spin. Now I'm going to try to go into this corner side by side. I do a good job. They don't do a good job because they step on the grass, go sideways, 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 and contact. Well, not much I could do there. The MG goes off the track and spins out. The Ford has made it past a couple cars. One of them is another Fairlane. Again, very slow car on the corners, but very quick in the straights. That striped MG, it's the second time we see it, getting lapped again off the track. Fairlane blocks here. We both make it past this MG, which is the car that flipped, one of the 2 cars that flipped on the first lap. It's still going somehow. Now the furlane is the opposite to the Mini, right? We get closer on the corners, but it's just so fast in the straightaway with this V8 engine. This one has a NASCAR livery. In fact, this would be the Wood Brothers car of the era. But on the corners we do get closer, we can use more of the track, as there is a bit of a poltergeist phenomenon with an off-track car. Now I force the fairlane to brake on the inside line, knowing that it cannot make this corner. So now I do the switchback, I get on the inside, and this is an incident that I'm not very proud of. I feel like it's a bit 50-50, we both go for the same piece of road, but I should have kept it a bit tighter. They should have kept it a bit wider maybe, perhaps, I don't know. Anyways, luckily they can continue with the race, but that was a bit sketchy. Laps go on, this is a lapped Ford, there's 3 furlongs here. I get by it as it does a bit of a lowrider move with those suspensions. Generally I start getting cleaner laps, even though I'm going sideways all the time, that's the fun with these cars. And finally I catch this Alfa Romeo on the closing stages of the race. I do my favorite move on the inside here, forcing it wide. Now I'm going to keep it tight, close to the apex, don't want to make contact again like we did with the furlane. But the Alfa Romeo has great speed out of the corner. Our advantage though is that at the end of the straight we do seem to have a bit more top end speed. So I go on the inside, they lift early, 2 cars, 1 get into this corner, so yeah, 1 position. 1 more position, 1 final position, as this is the final lap of the race. And yeah, couldn't catch the group ahead, couldn't catch the brown furlane, which was very fast all race long, and I finished 14th, not what I wanted out of this first race. What do I do on my cooldown lap? Just practice the start, because that really cost us dearly on that first race. Just again and again, stop the car, start it again. Very tricky car to get a good launch with. But okay, we just have to focus on this race start and nail it. Not like before, just nail it. Will we do that? Well, spoiler alert, not really. I mess up again. Yeah, lots of pressure on that start, and I just didn't do well. I guess I'm the Mark Webber of Assetto Corsa in terms of not being good at the starts. Not in terms of like being a good driver or winning races, no, just being awful at the launch of the line. Anyway, we have to start again. This Alfa Romeo will look familiar. That was on the previous race. It was the last car we passed. So now it should be the first car that we attempt to pass. Gets a bad exit out of that corner. Not much space given by the furlane. So I'm going to go on the inside. Not an easy overtaking spot. I have to give space here. On both corners, it's still on my door. I give space. Finally, I seem to make it pass, but it's very good after the corners, has great traction. Finally get the move done. No crashes at least in this lap, much cleaner than the previous race. But out of this corner again, first part of the straightaway, that Alfa has the legs. It gets side by side with me. I know that I'm going to have a bit more speed at the end of it, and I have the inside line, so really I just have to brake a little bit later than the Alfa Romeo and I should get the position. I do. Didn't hit that Lotus. Those braking zones are not that easy without ABS, sorry. This time everybody goes single file through the chicane, but the Alfa Romeo again gets a great exit. This battle has been going on for a whole lap. I'm going to have to brake later here. I do brake later, maybe a little bit too late. As I trail brake, I go sideways. The Alfa Romeo had braked early, will get a better exit, and once again, will be side by side. I covered the inside. This track has most corners to the right, but yeah, difficult lap. Things could be worse though. Look at these 2 guys. They go wide, one of them spins, contact, this is right ahead of us. And the MG spins, the Lotus curtain and doesn't choose the right way to go and flips wildly several times. We see that. two cars can go side by side into that. The Alfa Romeo leaps first. I just power through, pass everybody somehow. No contact behind, that was close. And I've made up several positions. I'm in 7th place now. I was in like 14th, not so long ago. A very diverse grid, a lot of fun racing these cars from the TCL Legends mod by Baza and company. Love these classic car mods. Race goes on as we fast forward through plenty of laps, not really getting any closer to the cars ahead. Lots of sliding, in fact, this MG, as you can see in the mirror, it's getting closer to me. But here somehow I just found something, just found a lot of pace, and I started getting better lap by lap, getting further and further away from that MG. Some lapped cars. This striped MG was having trouble both races, getting sideways all the time. They were playing on a controller, so not easy at all. They explained this on Discord, and here we see them getting sideways and getting collected by the Ford Fairlane that we had been chasing during the first race. So yeah, following laps I can get a gap on the cars behind and start thinking of passing the group ahead. Now I can see even 3rd place from where I'm standing. I'm in 7th. And these guys are starting to fight. I'm starting to get my best laps. So I might have a chance to gain some positions on the final portion of the race. Much less eventful this race, luckily. We didn't spin once, we didn't go off the track, that was good. Who goes off track? That's the Alfa Romeo. A bit like the same mistake I made in the first race, just braking late on that bump between the corners. So I gain 1 position. The Austin Healey head makes a mistake a couple laps later. It's going wide, and now it's on for 6th place. No, not 6th place, 5th place now. I'm in 6th position. There's just a few laps left in the race, and I have a great chance to gain just 1 more position, get into the top 5. That would be a good recovery despite our botched start once again. These two cars are fairly evenly matched on the straightaway, but I would say I'm better on the corners. This BMW was one of the best cars in the back. It's newer. This and the Alfa Romeo are the only two 1970s cars, early 70s in this case. And it was very stable compared to some of the others that I tested, even though I just keep making mistakes on the final sector of the race. Look at this one. This one is very costly, particularly because it's the penultimate lap of the race, and now I have a gap to close. Here I thought, alright, let's just keep it together, focus on this final lap, do every corner the way it's supposed to be done, and just hope for a mistake by the car ahead. Late braking, keep it close to the inside here. Maybe not the perfect line, but good enough and clean at least. Got a good exit out of it, even though I missed the final apex. The car ahead, its body language is a bit more nervous. It's touching the grass all the time, a bit on edge. So maybe there's still a chance in this final lap to get that position. It's not going to be easy. There's still quite a bit of distance. These corners, I felt like I closed up every single time. Here, keep it tight. Touch both curbs, both apexes. There's a car on the outside, one of the Fairlanes, it's lapped. This is not for position, but I am getting closer to the Austin. Good braking zone there, kept it on a straight line more or less, and we'll get a great exit out of this corner using more of the track than our rival here. And I have the slipstream on the straightaway, but the Healey is surprisingly nimble. I'm going to keep it on the outside. The Healey is doing a defensive line. Try a switchback, but no, they park it on the apex. Both cars absolutely sideways out of the corner. There's just one straightaway to go, but yeah, just by a foot or two, we'll lose out on the Austin. 6th place, still great compared to the previous race, and I would say decent debut in historic racing, and SROL, Sim Racing Online. Just a fantastic race. Hope you enjoyed that. But hey, I had fun. These historical cars are a blast to drive, honestly, and I'm looking forward to doing more of these events. I don't know if this video is going to get any views, don't care much about that at the moment. Just having fun driving, and yeah, just fun event.